Right, before we get started on today's episode of Ups and Downs, I'm going to explain my hand in just 1 second. But not only do I stand here a few times a week and take my finger of power, give the good bits an up and the bad bits a down, I also go out there and wrestle for myself in actual wrestling rings. I am a worker. Sometimes things happen, everyone says it's fake, but it's not fake. That's why I'll reveal it now. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but yes, I'll turn this way. I have a massive lump on my forehead. I look like a damn Ferengi from Star Trek. But there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm just throwing it out there, because I know in the comments it's all going to be, look at Simon's head, Simon has a stupid head. What a dumb face Simon has. And that was true before I got this lump on my head, so you just got to accept it for what it is. I tell you, that happened last night. Then I got to watch NXT TakeOver Portland, and I couldn't care about anything else, because this may be one of the best band pay-per-views I have seen in some time. Let's up those downs. So you know how an opener of any kind of show is meant to set the bar for what's to come and just get the crowd warmed up? Well, Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee went, we really don't care about that. We are going to walk out there and we are going to try and have the best match you've ever seen in your damn life. If you can't follow it, that's your fault. Give it up. It helped that the fans are on fire from start to finish, and that hit a whole new level when Keith Lee just decided, I am going to bust out some Hurricane Rana. I mean, I bet nobody's larynx works today because of the sheer force that was put on it during that moment. And then Dominic tried to get back in this by diving at Keith Lee, but he just caught him out of midair. He was like Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid films. We had those chopsticks and he was catching flies. Then there were suplexes onto the apron, which is the hardest part in the ring. And for some reason, Dijakovic forgot, oh look, I'm a pretty big dude. And he was just soaring off the top rope, and he was soaring off the ropes as if he was a cruiserweight. I mean, the big thing is that if you have seen these two fight before outside of the realms of WWE, they have done this a lot. But everybody always goes, oh, but WWE will never allow them to do that in a WWE ring. And I guess that's kind of true because it was in an NXT ring, but it just blows your brain. They smashed each other with lariats, which would have taken anybody else's heads off, like it just rolled around the squared circle canvas. Then they went to the top rope and Dijakovic hit the North American champion with an avalanche DDT. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Let's just cancel NXT TakeOver Portland. How the hell is anybody going to do better than this? Of course, they also did a Spanish fly from up there, because why wouldn't two massive dudes want to do that? And if it wasn't for Dominic's back, his poor back, he was walking around like an old man, who knows what story we would have been telling today. But instead, Keith Lee was able to hit the big bang catastrophe. He is still your champion. In my word, he should just be the champion of all the brands. Mr. Champion. They shook hands afterwards as a sign of respect, and also because I think they looked at each other and went, oh, we didn't die. Thank goodness for that. And you should go and watch this match right now. You can copy and paste that onto everything I am about to talk about. And while I know that now, at the time I didn't. So when Dakota Kai and Tegan came out for bout 2, I was like, what on earth are they going to do to be able to follow that? Because I know it's a bit different because there was a personal story here and it was a grudge match and they've been feuding for a while, but I was baffled. And yet somehow they reached into their bag of magic chicks, threw everything everywhere, and it was brilliant too. Up. The best thing was that despite knowing what the crowd had just witnessed, they had their own ideas, they had their own concepts, and they weren't going to change that for nothing, and that worked. This was so hard hitting too, like before they even got into the ring, they were smashing each other with weapons. You probably can imagine Paul Heyman sat somewhere going, oh, this is the kind of stuff that I like. I mean, there was trash cans, chairs, tables, I think a cricket bat at one point. The Americans even like cricket, I don't know, it's really boring. And if they have woken up this morning and they don't have their own Ferengi wounds, then they have some kind of protective skin that I would like to invest in. It wasn't like they were doing anything too nuts, but it was the execution. Like, take a German suplex that Nox did onto Dakota Kai, where she also smashed onto a trash can. It looked as if her neck had impacted to such a degree, I was sat on my sofa and I sold it like sugar. Maybe I need to go to the hospital. There's also tying people up to the ring post and getting laptops and hitting it in people's knees. I mean, who hits somebody with a laptop? Like, this in many ways was worse than a sledgehammer, because I don't have a sledgehammer laying around my house. I'm not like a crazy person, but I do have a laptop. I have two, in fact. I'm looking at them right now. And if I got a laptop and hit somebody with it, I know that it would hurt. Soon after this, a damn chair and a damn table had been brought in the ring. And this is where Tegan was like, you know what, Dakota Kai, you have given me nothing but misery over the last few months, so I have decided I am going to end your life. And that's why this event really should have been called NXT TakeOver. We're all going to hell. She put her neck in the chair and left Dakota lying on the table. But just as she was going to climb to the top rope and do who knows what, Rachel Gonzalez came from nowhere and again grabbed Tegan Nox and threw her so high in the air and let her fall so far to the floor. I'm surprised that air traffic control weren't on the radio. And I know the table didn't break and that sucked, but come on. Dakota then slowly crawled over and pinned Tegan Nox, and you were left with many questions. The major one being, why has this giant woman gone and absolutely gotten herself involved here? Because Dakota Kai didn't look like she totally understood it either. And I know there's a few people out there going, well, this is like AEW. When somebody just debuts, and I don't understand why. And you know what, you do have a point. But the effort that was put in here and the structure and the way they were able to, have their own fanfare despite what happened in match 1, I ain't gonna criticize it because I'm not an asshole. I am a bald asshole, but I'm not that kind of asshole. And then next it was Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. And that tied into the main event. I mean, what am I meant to do? Up. I was torn about who could win this beforehand, but I forgot that Gargano is such a good babyface that sometimes he can lose and that makes you like him more. Like, I don't know how he does it. And again, there was a reason he did lose here, but I will talk about that in around about 7 minutes. Balor was like a drunk uncle as he viciously attacked the leg of Johnny, but that didn't stop Johnny from fighting back. Like at one point he was throwing Finn Balor into the stairs, but then you were watching this like a game of tennis because it was just so back and forth. Finn would hit Gargano and Gargano would hit Finn. Again, you're just doing this the whole time, and you kind of look like you have a problem. There was also callbacks to things they had done months ago, and after Finn had gone from the coup de grace and Johnny had got out of the way, he did lock on the Gargano escape. And if we didn't have ring ropes in a wrestling ring, he probably would have been your winner. But again, we do have ring ropes in a wrestling ring, so you can't just take him out of them. That's like when people watch a Batman movie and they go, well, it wouldn't be very good if Batman wasn't in it. He's right there. We were back to table action, which on any other pay-per-view I'd actually criticise, but my adrenaline was so high at this point, I didn't even care, and the fans agreed, which is why they went absolutely hoo-ha-ha when Finn Balor gourd-busted Johnny Gargano through another table. He even ran across him and smashed Johnny with a drop kick. It was the beginning of the end as well, because from there Balor was able to hit the 1916 and pin Johnny for the 1-2-3. The big question is, well, what does Balor do now? But bigger than that, what is next for Johnny Gargano? Well, let me tell you this, you're gonna find out. Right, so what followed after this, it was Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the NXT Women's Championship. And this did have an air of doubt hanging over it, because ever since Charlotte Flair had basically made her intentions known for WrestleMania, if you're like me, you're like, well, Bianca Belair ain't going to win because the WWE are going to double down on Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. And despite that, it did take a little something away from it, these two still absolutely smashed it. Give it up. Because I think Triple H and his band of ragamuffins realised this, so they booked Bianca Belair to look stronger than the damn moon, because she was beating Rhea Ripley up from minute 1, and she was still beating Rhea Ripley up when the finish came. And that was important because now, even though she did lose, you look at her and go, I don't think she's done. Her moment is coming. She was smashing out moonsaults and brainbusters, and while we never had that sort of one really close near fall where you're like, oh, I can't believe it, it got me, it still achieved the job. Traded slaps like they were trying to remove each other's heads. They must have been inspired by Keith Lee earlier. And of course, to get the better of that exchange, Bianca used her hair. She does that a lot. And then Rhea Ripley was able to get out of the way of the KOD. You have to imagine if she was able to hit said move, we may have been telling a different story. There was another narrative to tell though, and it all started when these two were warring on the top rope, because why the hell wouldn't you war on the top rope? But Rhea was able to get control, and she hit Bianca Belair with a riptide from that high perch, and that was enough to put her down for a 3 count. We were straight into WrestleMania mode 2 because Charlotte Flair appeared from nowhere and absolutely whooped Rhea Ripley's ass. She even held that title off and accepted the challenge, so that is official for WrestleMania 36. But interestingly, she also beat up Bianca, which leads you to go, are they gonna do a triple threat match? Now, I hope they don't. I think you get much more out of booking a singles match, and if Charlotte Flair or Rhea Ripley wins that, you then go back to Bianca Belair. But I like the fact I don't know, and I like the fact the road to WrestleMania has begun. Then Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne won the Tag Team Championships. Come on, up. And the highlight to all of this, and maybe the entire show, is that Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle, in this combination pairing little doodah they have, brings so much more entertainment than you usually see on NXT. And I don't mean entertainment in, oh, I'm enjoying this, I like the matches. I mean sports entertainment. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but I do like a little bit of sports entertainment in my sports entertainment. Because I enjoy the serious nature of the matches and how the crutch of all idea is, well, I'm better than you, and I'll prove it in a wrestling ring. But I want dumb stuff too. I want dumb stuff like these two coming out on a golf cart. I want dumb stuff like them wearing those weird Bobby Fish poem things that Matt Riddle has been saying over and over again. And I like, even though they hate each other, they also like each other. It's like some crappy buddy comedy I didn't know I wanted to see. And this was the match too. It was the Undisputed Era taking on these two guys. So what else did you expect? And at one point Matt Riddle got a hot tag, and Matt Riddle takes a really good hot tag, even though his strikes kind of range from, oh my gosh, that looked like it hurt, to weak as a kitten, but it doesn't matter. And by the time the Broserweights were applying joint ankle locks, once again, the fans, they just couldn't shout enough. They couldn't make more noise if they tried. What am I doing? Like an Italian chef who just cooked a pizza. There were some teases that maybe Dunne and Riddle weren't going to be able to get on the same page. They almost kept crashing into each other. And yes, I know that sounds a bit like Hammang and Kenny, but who cares? It's good over there. It can be good here too. But they finally did. They hit their tag team finisher, and now we have brand new champions. They go all the way from the Dusty Classic to here. I couldn't be happier about it. And as for the main event, well, let's just keep it simple. It's not just an up, it's a golden up. There is little point in me telling you every little thing that happened here because I won't do it justice, and you really need to see it for yourself because it was thrilling, it had drama, it was hard hitting, there were twists, there were turns, you never knew what was going to be next. These guys put it all on the line. Genuinely incredible. The rest of the Undisputed Era kept getting involved, but that just worked even better because there was this underlying feeling here that maybe this was Tommaso Ciampa's time. So if he was going to reclaim Goldie, and he was able to do that by fighting off the entire Undisputed Era, well, that would just make it all the more sweet. That doubly seemed on the cards when Johnny Gargano ran to the ring to help out his old friend and balance the odds. But then NXT took its hand like Kano from Mortal Kombat, and it pushed it right into its chest. It removed your heart. It watched it beating, and it was pleased. Because after pretending he was there to help Tommaso make the right decisions, Johnny Gargano took the NXT title and he smashed it right into Ciampa's face. And that was just crazy all around because Tommaso, like the madman that he is, had been falling on his neck for this entire match. And don't forget, this is a surgically repaired neck. So at this stage, I was like, I cannot handle Tommaso Ciampa's neck having any more problems put on it. The announcers treated this like Gargano had finally lost it because he wasn't able to beat Balor earlier. And obviously, in all the fallout, Adam Cole slowly made his way to Ciampa and covered him for the 1, 2, 3. What a difference an hour or so can make, however long it was, because the boos and the sheer anger rained down on Johnny Gargano like he had taken a microphone and said, by the way, 10,000 people, how many people are in attendance, I have actually been banging all your mothers. It means Adam Cole is now free to find a challenger elsewhere, and we are back to Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, although here, Ciampa is our beloved babyface and Gargano is our hated heel. I know we were teasing that doing ages ago, but how on earth was NXT able to do this? And you may think, oh, I don't see it doing much. I don't care. I want to see the end of this feud, and unfortunately injuries got in the way, and now it's like a brand new feud. What a fantastic pay-per-view. I don't even care. It's giving all the ups, it's not getting any downs, we rarely do that, but today, I'm just feeling it because of my Ferengi face. So you'll be unsurprised to hear that when we have the overall arrow, it is getting an up, and if you are intending to watch this show, go and watch this show, unless of course you don't like what NXT does. That's cool, you're allowed not to like NXT, but given everything that NXT does do, I'm going to say it, I'm going to shake it out. Could be that I took a blow to the head. I think it may be one of the best takeovers I have ever seen in my dark life. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's NXT TakeOver. Boy, howdy do I want to know. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. Then head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles, switch over here, go and follow WhatCulture over on where? Twitter, at WhatCulture WWE, and watch more videos here in the screen on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Quark from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, we'll be back in around about 24 hours when we up those downs for Monday Night Raw.
Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture, here to let you know we want your live event videos, whether that be something that happened after the cameras stopped rolling, or your reaction to something amazing that went down at the show you were at. Stuff like this.
One of the other sweetest things I've ever seen was just recently when we saw Roman Reigns kick the shit out of cancer and come back on Monday Night Raw.
So make sure you send them to us in all the usual ways. You can tweet them at us, you can send them to us on Facebook, you can email them to us. Hell, if it's your sort of thing, you can stick them on a memory stick and post them to WhatCulture. But the one thing you need to remember is good, bad. Thanks for watching. Bye.